That is one way to get your attention right there. My apologies. That's like me singing. How's the dinner tonight? Good? How about a hand for Little America and all the great work they do? Thank you, Little America. So now that we have had our meat and potatoes, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's events. And I'd like to bring up Barbara Smith. She's Wyoming's 9th Poet Laureate, and she was appointed by Governor in 2023, and she's going to share some poems with us tonight. Barbara?
Okay. We'll see if I can work this microphone. I was going to read a couple of poems, and then somebody started talking the other day about the 250th anniversary, and what to do about Wyoming's coming up anniversaries and so on. And I got to thinking about some of the poems I've written about some of our pioneers and what how we relate to them. And so I'm going to read one of my early poems that talks about some pioneers in stories I've heard in Rock Springs. This one is called Sisters. The wind blew down the valley from Green River in the afternoon, about 2:30. She looked at the clock, the usual time. The dust sifted in through the sliding glass doors, lingered a bit in the air, settled softly down to rest. She wiped the top of the dishwasher and thought of other women. Back then, when the wind blew, what did they dust? The shelf on the side that served as a cupboard? The handmade table? The dirt floor? What did they dust, those women? She remembered pictures of pale, wisp-blonde women, not yet grandmothers, homesteading, standing by the sod with aprons blowing in the wind, hair twisted in a knot, arms folded tight under their breasts, bellies big under full skirts, as usual. They stood tall. She bent over to pick up a toy. The baby pushed back hard under her ribs, and a strand of fine hair fell across her face. She remembered a story told often when she was young. Two pioneer women would dance together around and around their kitchen when they visited. They danced twice in 5 years. They saw no one. What did those women do when the men were gone in the fields and the wind came every day at 2:30? She sat down at the table by the sliding glass door and watched a dust squall whirl its way into the subdivision. She didn't know her neighbor. She wondered, did she dance? She drove off every day in her new car. Some pioneer women took laudanum for headaches. Some died in the long afternoon. Some waited 5 years to dance together and dream. Sisters, she thought. We're sisters. Okay, I gotta find the other one. I teach a memoir writing class, and I have a lot of senior citizens in there. I'm not one of them, of course, but, and I've had a lot of stories, heard a lot of stories about tough times and about how people survived in Wyoming and in the West. And one thing that keeps coming up often are stories about how some of the women helped out the family by making enough money to pay the taxes. You know, on a farm you can always eat, but getting enough money together to pay the taxes. I don't think we have that problem anymore, but several people have told me about women in Rock Springs who had boarders and who took in laundry and whatever, whatnot. And in my own family, in the history, I discovered that some of the women, grandmothers and great-grandmothers, were pianists, and they got paid for being a church organist or doing lessons for kids and so on, and in that way contributed to the money that people needed to gather together for taxes. I thought I'd tell you that story. And so here's a poem about some of those women. It's called Long Fingers, and it also is what we pass down from one to the other within the families and within the communities that we live in, because we live in some wonderful communities in Wyoming. I look at her, brand new, downy-haired forehead, white eyelashes down to her fingers, long fingers. If she were alive, my grandmother would say, she has piano-playing fingers, long fingers. A girl in the Dakotas a world ago, she learned to play heavy church music in the parlor. She sat perfectly erect in rustling black taffeta, swirled around the stool, her fingers poised for the cue, long fingers. She played light-tripping waltzes, heart-thumping music to make her offspring jump and dance through the hand-built farmhouse, making the wood floors sing and the grandchildren scream and run for the stairs to watch the fingers fly across the keys, making mystery, long fingers. She played the wedding march, first as her daughters took their steps through the church where she took her vows and learned the piano and taught her daughters, then her granddaughters. They went past one by one, fingers in rings, long fingers. At her funeral, no one sat near the empty piano. Her music filled the church half a century. Her daughter plays now, erect on a worn, polished stool, poised for the cue, long fingers. My mother came to see the newborn girl lying soft in my arms. "Oh, look," she said, "long fingers, piano-playing fingers." Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara, for sharing your work with us. I've had the pleasure of getting to know her a little bit over the last 2 years, and I think it's made my life a bit better because of it. And my wife, she's better because of it too. I'm on a roll. So we are fortunate to not only have a governor who supports the arts, but also recognizes the value and the impact that arts have on our communities. This week I ran across a quote that was attributed to Winston Churchill, and it states, "Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak." I forgot the second part. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. I am so darn proud to work for a boss that sits down and listens. He listens about issues, he studies them before making a decision, and those decisions usually propel Wyoming forward and make it a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Mark Gordon.
Oh, it's awesome. Hey, thank you. Honestly, Dave has not been drinking tonight. I'm a politician, so Dave hasn't been drinking tonight. Thank you all for coming this evening. And, you know, as Dave was talking about Winston Churchill, I was thinking about another Winston Churchill quote, which is, every once in a while, somebody stumbles on the truth. Most people pick themselves up and hurry along like it hasn't happened. Dave, you've done a phenomenal job of seeing the truth and making it happen. Thank you very much. And I also want to thank Rachel Clifton. This is an amazing job. Rachel, thank you. Thank you. You know, I'm officially supposed to talk about the state of the arts in Wyoming, so buckle in, it's only 45 minutes. That's about what I did for the state of the state. No, honestly, Wyoming is strong. You look around, and actually, just look at the person next to you. Look how fabulous it is to have these people here that love this state, that care about the arts. And Barbara, thank you for those poems. You know, as we in this state live in just a fabulous place. I was thinking a little bit earlier and talking to a couple of people about just the culture that we have where, you know, cowboys would spend the evening looking out over just what was beautiful country. I don't care where it was, it could be the Tetons, and everybody knows that. But if you were in Goshen County, you could look out over that beautiful stuff, and you could see some pretty, pretty stuff. I remember when I was a kid, you could be on top of the Bighorns, and you could see where my good friend Ogden Driscoll lives, right underneath Devil's Tower. And you could see that on that horizon. You could see it in the mist, and you can suddenly understand how a guy like Hans Kleiber, with just a pen and a paper, could make art that we all remember, revere, and love. It's in the heart of Wyoming people. You know, when Barbara was going through her poetry, I was thinking, make me as big and open as the plains, as honest as the horse between my knees, clean as the wind that blows behind the reins, and free as the hawk that circles down the breeze. That's the third stanza in the Cowboy's Prayer, and it couldn't speak more eloquently about a place like Wyoming. Now, I'm supposed to talk about the economy. And my friend, who happens to be an amazing artist, Jay Sjogren, has all these statistics. So it's home to 14,618 arts and cultural workers, making up 4.1% of the workforce, 2.7% of Wyoming's GDP, and I'm going to say about 100% of the reason why we love ourselves. Now, arts and culture generates about $347 million in tax revenue, so maybe we'll be able to pay some of our bills. And these are all important tools for our quality of life. And then my friend, one of the sponsors of this evening's events, Randall Luthi, sent me a nice little clipping the other day that pointed out that Wyoming is the most virtuous state in the Union. It actually said we had the least sin, but virtue's probably pretty good. But I'm going to say that what that means is that it is no cinch to say that Jackson, Sheridan, Cheyenne easily were ranked in the 100 most arts vibrant communities in the country. And to our friends, and I'm celebrating our friends up in that blue part of the state, they are number one. Jackson. But when you think about this, you think about the education, the arts education that goes through here. Chad Rose, one of the great teachers, he was a teacher for my kids, he's now in Sheridan. You know, he came in today with 4 saxophonists that played at the legislature. And this is a man whose just love of the arts is huge. His impact on my kids and on so many of our kids has been extraordinary. And you think about Sheridan, which had this tradition of having the 4 seasons played by the bands of Buffalo and Bighorn and Sheridan and Dayton, and each of those instructors would take a movement of the 4 seasons. And this year, there's probably one season that we've missed, and that's winter. But just think about that, and think how important that is for the kids that we have. And that's why we have these incredible philanthropic efforts. I was talking to Naoma Tate a little bit earlier tonight, and Susan Miller, one of the award winners tonight. And we were talking about how wonderful it is when there's all this noise at the top and maybe other stuff at the bottom, and people making explanations about what good art is and what art should be or what art shouldn't be. And here in Wyoming, we appreciate it for the beauty that it is. God bless this state. God bless you for being here. Thanks. And Dave, I know I'm supposed to be getting to the videos, and I think I will be, but I will say one thing. I was also thinking about another poem, and with apologies to Lawrence Ferlinghetti, I'm going to say a poem that I remember from him when I was a little kid, only he was talking about something else. Well, I'm going to turn it into legislature. The legislature is like a cigarette. The bigger the drag, the more you get. So there you are. My friends, God bless our legislature. God bless this great state. Thank you for being here. And now it is my honor to, do I announce this? Yeah, I do. It says, we have the honor of recognizing the first recipient of the evening. And I have to tell you, this is a really cool group. Because no matter where you are in the state, there's an amazing group that's making things happen. And so tonight, one of the honorees is the Community Fine Arts Center. Please watch the video.
Was started in 1939 by Elmer Halseth. He was a Rock Springs science teacher, and he wanted to bring art appreciation to his students. So he would rally up the senior kids, and they would fundraise, and then they would purchase a piece of art, and it would hang in the high school. Every year they purchased at least one, and some years I'm sure they purchased more, but it soon outgrew the high school. And they wanted the former students that had helped purchase the art, wanted to be able to see it.
I, even as a student, thought, this is a really bad place to hang really expensive art.
So they got a grant in 1966, and this had been a Mormon church, and they had outgrown it. So the city purchased the building, and they used the grant, and they brought all the collection here. There's all kinds. There is international artists, there are local artists, there are American artists. There's really no rhyme to reason to what they purchased.
And over the years, it's expanded to be an incredible community resource for this entire part of southwestern Wyoming. I, as the Sweetwater BOCES director, collaborate with them on any number of programs.
So we do adult classes and sometimes children's classes. We try to have at least one a month. But we try to organize workshops, art camp. And so we'll do a lot of the, like buy the supplies and do the curriculum and things. And we do just all kinds of different workshops and things.
So we do all those kinds of things. We bring in events, we bring in artists in residence, we bring in exhibits, we bring in traveling exhibits. We do everything that brings the arts right straight to our community, and no one is better at doing that than the Community Fine Arts Center right here in Rock Springs, Wyoming, and it was my great honor to be their nominator.
We are very appreciative of this award, and we hope it will help us support the art and the artists of our county and our state, but we are very grateful for the Governor's Art Award.
And now if I can have Director Glenn and Arts Council Board Chair Adam Harris here with me to invite the representatives of the Community Fine Arts Center to the stage. Come on up. Speech.
All right. I'm Lindsay Travis. I'm the director for the Sweetwater County Library System. Since Amanda did the video, I told her I would give the speech tonight. We are honored in Sweetwater County to have the Community Fine Arts Center as part of our library system, and we are really, truly honored to receive this award. The Community Fine Arts Center is attached to the Rock Springs Library, and if you haven't been there, I encourage you to stop by and see what a great gem it is. I might be a little biased though, because it's in our community. We oversee a beautiful art collection overseen by Sweetwater County School District Number 1. We have artwork by local artists available for sale. We have classes available for the public, and we support the youth in their art endeavors. If you enter the Community Fine Arts Center right now, you will see the artwork of our local students on our gallery walls. We feature that artwork every February through May from all the schools in Sweetwater County School District Number 1. And this is my favorite time of the year at the Community Fine Arts Center. Nothing is better than seeing a child walk into that gallery with their parents, with the people that are important to them, and point to their piece of artwork on the wall and say, look at that, I did that. That is my artwork. It's here in our gallery. And for a lot of kids, that's the inspiration that they need to continue with the arts going forward. So we are happy to continue to cultivate that and just support all of our youth through the Community Fine Arts Center. We have so many people to thank this evening. First, a big thank you to Governor Gordon and the Wyoming Arts Council for this award and for their dedication to the arts in Wyoming. And thank you to everyone who nominated us. Terry Sell, Chad Banks, Bernadine Kraft, along with Rock Springs Mayor Max Mickelson and the Sweetwater County Board of County Commissioners. We would also like to thank Sweetwater School District Number 1 for entrusting us with their art collection, and the Community Fine Arts Center Advisory Board. Some of the members are here with us this evening. The Sweetwater County Library System Board of Directors, the Sweetwater County Library Foundation for all of their support over all the years. I also want to thank Rock Springs Library Manager Constance Potts, who works hard to ensure that the CFAC has the support that it needs every day. And thank you to the hardworking staff at the CFAC. and to the CFAC manager, Amanda Romero, who took on this role a year ago, and she has done a fantastic job over the past year. And finally, a big thank you to former CFAC Director Deborah Soule for putting her heart and soul into the CFAC for more than 20 years. We hope to support the arts in Rock Springs for many years to come. Thank you so much.
Did we get
You just grab the plaque.
We can't leave. We got you, we got you handy.
All right, we'll stay.
Got a few more things to say. All right, can you guys all speak this way if you can? Let's take a step towards me. Come forward. There you go.
Do you want us on this side?
Yeah, and everybody squeeze towards the other, please.
Now our next video is going to feature somebody that I know is feeling very, very uncomfortable about being here. But she is somebody who is absolutely amazing. And I want you to welcome Becky Larsen.
The Story Hour Players are a troupe of volunteer community members who enjoyed putting on plays for school children, hosted here at the Fremont County Library in Lander.
We're thinking back in the 70s, it started as a group of women that got together and put on plays for the school children. So it's been going on for, what would that be? Math's not my strong suit.
Over 40 years. Becky's involvement started over 20 years ago.
I think I've missed maybe one play, but I've done it ever since. So
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Like your first 20 years, you were a Story Hour player and involved in the plays.
Yeah.
And then I think the Story Hour player director moved and you took up.
I took up the ranks. Yeah.
Yes.
Dorothy Phelps retired and she asked me if I would do it. So, yeah. That is, it's kind of like a sorority. Once you've been a Story Hour player, you're just kind of in that group and you have those memories too. I usually send out a text and see who's available and get a number of people that I can use. But we just kind of work with what feels right, and then we get together and practice, get our costumes all organized and together, and the week of the plays we come and usually scripts still in hand because not everybody has them all memorized, but by the end of the week we've got it down pretty good, and that's kind of what we do. So we do spring plays, we do Wyoming Reads, which is in May, and then we do Halloween plays. So I think the thing I love most about it is the Story Hour players themselves and the community that we have, the friendships that we build.
You're inspiring generations and encouraging people. And I think that's an amazing thing about the arts, and what your contribution has been to the arts is, I know it's satisfying for you, it's a creative outlet, but you're sharing it with others in a way that's inspiring and fun and is just building into the children of our community for generations now. Not to make you feel old.
I am old. And I'm okay with that. I think everybody, to have a fulfilling life, needs a little culture. And, you know, what we do with the kids is pretty amateur. It's not fancy, but it does serve a purpose, I think. I think anytime we're exposed to culture, whatever it is, it benefits us, makes our lives better. So it's been really fun, so a lot of good memories.
And when I called Becky, she said, "Are you kidding me?" But that is the most honest representation of why this is so important. Becky, God bless you. Thanks.
Well, I've been rehearsing this speech in my brain for about 2 months, so. I'd first like to thank the governor and Jenny for this award, but also just for the remarkable way that they have led the state for these many past years. With Jenny responsible for feeding people that are hungry, and the governor just keeping us stable, and we're really going to miss them, but we wish them the best. I'd also like to thank those involved in the Governor's Arts Award for organizing and the nominating process at the state and local levels. I had no idea this was happening until I got a personal call from Governor Gordon, and I don't know about you, but that doesn't happen to me every day, so I thought someone was maybe playing a joke. Also, the award is nice, but I have a really nice perk tonight, and that is that Lloyd and I have all of our children here, so I wish they would stand up with their spouses. It is rare that we all get together, and usually it's because of a funeral, so this is much nicer. And at various locations in Cheyenne, we have 16 of our 23 grandchildren, so we're very blessed. I also have many friends here, and a couple of those friends are Anita Marple and Becky Packer, who are also at this table, and they are the ones that nominated me for this award. And actually, Becky Packer was the one that invited me to join the Story Hour Players 38 years ago. I was pregnant with Jessie at the time. But actually, Becky has been involved in the plays for 45 years, so perhaps you have the wrong Becky up here, I'm not sure, but anyway, I thank them for coming. And also, thanks to Wyoming PBS, because my parents, who are 93 and 94, are watching tonight. And I just want to shout out to them that they're both very alert and have great minds and also great senses of humor, and I appreciate that. And also my sister, who was planning on being here, but the plane malfunctioned. So anyway, I'm truly humbled and honored to receive this award, but I'm accepting it on behalf of the many, 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 many women and a few men and some children who have been a part of the Story Hour Players over the many decades that it has existed. In fact, some of our Story Hour Players were once audience members, and they grew up coming to the library to watch the plays. So I guess someone could call that generational drama. These many amazing Story Hour Players have come to practice, memorize lines, found costumes and props, and put their all into becoming wonderful characters. Some of those characters might be Dr. Van Rabbit from the Unhappy Bunny, or Witch Hazel, who might say something like, I knew I should have turned you all into horned toads the minute you came in here. Or an audience favorite, which will be appearing in April, Captain Potato. He and his trusty sidekick, Spud, are crime-fighting potatoes, and their arch nemesis is Big Mouth. And Big Mouth's henchmen are butter and sour cream. And they built a device to get rid of Captain Potato called the Masher. That's a really cute play. These characters and so many others have entertained thousands of children over the years. These kids have mostly come from Lander and the Wind River Reservation to the library to be in the audience. They've sat on their pockets and laughed and clapped and watched us adults pretend and be silly. And no screens. And those adults have built a community of care and friendship that has united us. And we have all loved every minute. Thank you.
Right there. Gotta come this way. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we do this. Right there. You know, when a nomination comes through, it goes through an entire process of vetting. And so every one of these recipients is truly deserving. And the unfortunate thing for a governor, if any of you are thinking about running for that, is that you have to then also make a choice. But the third reminded, in fact, we talked about this. I remember Don King was a wonderful saddle maker, and he got a presidential award. And I remember he went to the White House. It was in a different administration, and Don just felt a little bit out of place. And I remember he came back and he said, well, that was all kind of fun, but I don't know what those people were next to me. The next person represents some of the finest stuff that you will ever see made by a hand in the West. And so I would hope that we would play a video for Ernie Marsh.
You know, I made my first pair of spurs in junior high school metal shop, and they were absolutely awful. I've been doing this professionally since 1993. You know, it starts out as an interest, then it works into a hobby, and then it works into a serious hobby, and then you just gotta bite the bullet, take a hell of a cut and pay off of whatever else you're doing, pay your dues, put your time in, and build a business. What we're building can't be produced en masse. It's one at a time off the bench. You can't compete with the cheaper imported work, so You just build better and higher quality items. When I come up with a design, a lot of times it'll bounce around in my head for a while. And then I'll try to put it on paper, and it might just be a rough sketch. And it might sit around for 6 months that way with me walking by, making little changes here and there, while I'm working on other things, right? I'm always trying to think ahead and come up with some creative designs. So I guess they evolve.
His work is exquisite. He's known across the West. He's known among, working cowboys, ranchers, and collectors. In 2025, Ernie received a National Heritage Fellowship from the National Endowment for the Arts, which is the highest recognition you can receive from our government in the folk and traditional arts. And he received it for the technical mastery of his art form, but also for his reputation as somebody that's willing to share and to pass his knowledge on to the next generation.
Oh, I'm super excited to win the Governor's Award. I'm really honored to be included with the other recipients and all of the past recipients. And it's nice that my trade can get recognized in the mainstream occasionally. And Wyoming celebrates the cowboy culture. And yeah, it's pretty special to be among the recipients of this. Yeah, Wyoming seems to draw artists from all over the place. We got sculptors and painters and gun makers and knife makers and tradesmen and blacksmiths. And I think Wyoming's atmosphere lends itself to independence, self-reliance, and creativity. And I think that's why artists are drawn here.
Ernie, it's good to have you here. I hate to tell you, you're not in the mainstream, you're in Wyoming.
That works. Thank you very much. Oh, this speech looked really good at the shopping center this afternoon when I wrote it. I hope you're all having as good a time as I am tonight, really. I'm very honored to be included among my fellow recipients, to be recognized as a maker of cowboy and Western items here in the Cowboy State. It's pretty special. I want to thank Governor Gordon, the staff, everybody involved in the Wyoming Arts Council for this experience. I also want to thank Kendra Day. She couldn't make it here tonight, but she's out there somewhere, for her efforts in my nomination process, and for her recent work in helping to form the Cowboy Trades Association, a group that's dedicated to promoting the artistry of the Western trades. Through my work as a craftsman, I've had the privilege of working with several dedicated groups to promote educational opportunities for the next generation of craftsmen. As a founding member of the Traditional Cowboy Arts Association in 1998, I learned through that obligation of membership that sharing the skills of my trade is something that I truly enjoy. I've worked with the Wyoming Arts Council in their educational programs. I've also worked with the By Western Hands group of Cody, Wyoming, to fulfill their mission, of sharing the knowledge and promoting craftsmanship. If you have an interest in heirloom quality craftsmanship, I would encourage you to find out more about these groups that I've mentioned. They're all out there. They're groups that they all work towards promoting the trades and carrying on our Western heritage. Some of them are represented here. Down at my table there, I have Mary Sims of the By Western Hands group. Nicole Forsberg of the Cowboy Trades Association. My wife Teresa actually has just broken ground on a future Bighorn Western Trade Studio in Graybull we plan to put together. And Josh Chrysler from the Wyoming Arts Council. Thank you all very much.
I love your quote about the oh, that's good. Yeah, we got
You get to keep it. Well, thank you, Ernie. And you know, that part of Wyoming is super special. You know, I'd heard it started in Star Valley, so Senator Dockstetter, but you lost out to Lovell and now Graybull. So, and Barbara Ann is pretty happy about that, I gotta tell you. So, hey, so this last person, somebody I've known for a long time and had the joy of being on the UCross Foundation with. Her thoughts about art and how important it is, her dedication to making sure that Wyoming owns a place in the future of arts wherever they be is evident in the person that we're going to show the video of right now, Susan Miller.
Susan has just been, you know, she's very quiet about what she does. She's not a bragger. I'm a bragger. She's not, that's for sure.
They always ask me, what do you do? And I say, I don't do anything, but I love it. You know, when I moved here 28 years ago, my son was just about out of high school, and I just wanted to get involved with different boards. And my first board was the Sheridan Inn Board, which is the house built by Buffalo Bill Cody. It's a big hotel, and it was built in 1893, which that building is also a piece of art. And I just started doing that and went from one thing to another. From that board, I went to the Civic Theater Board, which is a local acting group that performs at the Kendrick Mansion. I was also on the Kendrick Mansion Board. I was on the Wyo Theater Board for 15 years. I can't even remember them all, I'm sorry. The University of Wyoming Art Museum Board, the Sheridan College Board, Britain Museum, Public Arts Committee. I have dinner with the UCross artists every month. That's an artist residency program, and I'm on that board right now.
Eventually, she gave me sort of a vita of all the things that she had done, and it was like, this is going to be easy because she is just a really remarkable woman. I mean, she's just been all over the place working with the arts.
I just love being with artists and the energy and the stories of being around artists all the time. I can't imagine that. I truly cannot imagine the world without art. Everything we touch was designed by an artist. Everything we look at has a beautiful shape to it. I'm always saying, I love this shape because it's beautiful. And colors and the way it all fits together. Everything is about art, really and truly.
Her commitment and the work that she's done, she's just done a great job.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm standing here. I have so many friends here tonight, and first of all, I have to just say thank you for driving all the way through Wyoming to be here with me tonight. I love every one of you in this audience who is my friend. I love living in Wyoming, and I was going to say that even before I heard other people talk, but I love living in Wyoming, and I love that Wyoming supports the arts. We are so fortunate to be here. I cannot tell you how thrilled and honored I am to accept this prestigious award. It's amazing, and I'm in such amazing company with all these other winners here. Thank you very much. I have been to this award dinner 5 times to honor so many of my friends who are here tonight, and I know how wonderful this is. I never, ever dreamed that I would be here sometime as a recipient. Thank you, Governor Gordon. Thank you so much. Thank you to the Arts Council. I have had so much fun getting to know all of you involved in this. Thank you, Val Burgess, for nominating me. She did an amazing job. Thank you to Caitlin Adelsberger, Aaron Butler, and Sue Simpson-Galler, who are all here tonight. All 4 of them are here tonight. And they wrote beautiful letters, and these are 4 superstars in the world of art in Wyoming, and I admire them tremendously. I know for sure that I would not be here without the love and support of my husband and best friend, Gary. He is my rock. And I'm so happy to have all of my children here tonight, too. And you guys have to stand up because everybody else has. There they are. And one grandson. Stand up, Chase. So in the video, you saw a little painting. Actually, it's a charcoal of a young boy. That was Chase. It was painted by Carrie Ballantyne when he was about 10 years old. I honestly cannot imagine a world without art. It brings us so much beauty and joy and hope. And it connects all of us with each other in so many magical ways. I'd like to tell you a little bit about some of my favorite places. And if you come to Sheridan, I really hope you'll call me because I'd rather show them to you. I love going to the Britton Museum in Bighorn. And my favorite exhibit there is the Winold Rice collection of portraits of the Blackfeet Nation. Winold Rice painted hundreds of portraits in his lifetime, and 36 of them are on one big wall in the Britton Museum. I have spent hours studying these magnificent faces. I love going to the Buffalo Bill Center in Cody, Wyoming. One of the biggest honors of my life before tonight was when I was a judge for the Buffalo Bill Art Show and Sale. I love going to the Wyo Theater in Sheridan, and I go there as often as I can. During my 15 years on the board, we went through 2 very major renovations. The next time you go to the Wyo Theater, please look down at the floor. I picked out the carpet. I love being on the University of Wyoming Art Museum board. Our next gala is May 2nd, and I hope you'll come and join us for that wonderful event. Has anybody here opened their invitation yet? How was it?
It was
Awesome.
It was.
Does it tempt you to buy a ticket to the gala? I hope so. I truly love all the art organizations I've been involved with, but one that is really special to me is the UCross Foundation. UCross is an artist residency on 22,000 beautiful acres, 30 miles east of Sheridan. Artists come from all over the world to spend 2, 4, or 6 weeks there. I've been on the board for 9 years, and every month I go have dinner with the artists. We sit down at one big table, and dinner's prepared by our private UCross chef, which is always amazing. I meet these artists, I hear their stories, and I see what they're doing on their projects at UCross. They always say 2 things to me every time I'm there. Thank you for bringing me to UCross, and being at UCross has changed my life. I always think it works both ways. I am so grateful for the artists that I have come to know. Some of them are here tonight. They have all changed my life. They have inspired me, and they have enriched my life beyond measure. I hope each one of you here tonight feels the same way. Thank you.
Well, thank you all. I think, Dave, you're supposed to, or somebody, Adam, somebody's supposed to, oh, there you are. Sarah! Before you do, for all the art recipients tonight, thank you so much for your work. Thank you so much for caring about Wyoming. You know, we truly have made a difference in the world. Raymond Plank, the founder of UCross, used to say, I want people to come to Wyoming and just take in a little bit of the peace that this place has. And he was right. And I have to say, for my lovely wife, Jenny, thank you. Because about the time I married you, I said, we got 22,000 acres that we got to run cows on. You had never been around a ranching operation. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Well, my job tonight is to close it down and wrap it up. I'm Sarah Sheen. I'm the Deputy Director for State Parks Cultural Resources. And I just want to thank everyone for coming tonight to support the arts and all of these amazing award recipients. I want to thank the Arts Council staff. They work really hard every year to put this on, and I think they really do a great job. So, thank you. And it's probably worth repeating that this event would not be possible without the sponsors. No state money goes into this event. It's completely paid for by sponsors, and I want to give them another round of applause for their support. I want to recognize the Arts Council Board because they're the ones who ultimately decide. They get a lot of nominations. I've watched this process for 19 years now take place, and it's hard. It's hard to choose these recipients. There's a lot of great people doing great things in the state, and they do that hard work. So a round of applause for the Arts Council Board. Thanks to the Little America staff. They always do a fantastic job here as well. And then, of course, finally, thank you, Governor Gordon and Jenny, for all of your support. I know that this is, kind of your swan song for the Governor's Arts Awards. It's been fantastic. Thank you for all your support. And everyone have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.